Okay, to incorporate filtered data in our pivot table, we have to do something a little different than we might otherwise think we can do because we can't apply a filter here on the table because all a filter does on a data table in Excel is hides certain rows that don't meet the criteria. Well, the pivot table, when looking at this as its data source, is going to ignore those hidden rows. Okay. We also can't use sale amount as a filter in the pivot table because we're not incorporating that field into the pivot table. All right. So what we can do, however, is add a helper column. So I've just added a new column to the table here. Call it sale amount filter. Then I also added two other cells here to make this a little more flexible. And these are simply reference cells, one for our min sale value and one for our max sales value. Okay, and of course you could change these to meet your needs. The formula is this. So we're using an if statement or an if function with an and function. And we use the and function so we can test for more than one condition. And then the if statement we use to return either yes or no, depending on whether the criteria are met or not. So the first test that we're using, or the first criteria, is the sale amount greater than the value contained in cell 01 over here, which is our minimum sales amount, 40,000. And is F2 also less than the value that we're carrying in our second criteria cell, which is O2, okay, which is 150,000. So if both those criteria are met, then we return yes. If false, if it doesn't meet the criteria, we return no. All right. And note too that because we're using an outside cell as our reference value, make sure to set these as absolute reference, okay? Because as the formula fills down in the table, we don't want these references moving. We want these to stay locked in place. Yeah, that's that part. Okay, so having done that, you get values that auto populate as the formula fills down. So you can see here's a yes here, 106,000. That's clearly within our criteria. Here's another one, 147,000, near the upper limit, but clearly within our formula. This one is below our min value for the formula. Okay, so this works. The way we use this then, you have to refresh, right? So hit refresh on your pivot table so it'll incorporate this new field, which I've already done. We see it right here, sales amount filter. Just drag this down into your filters area. Oops, try that again, to your filters area for the pivot table. Here it is. And then to use the filter, select yes. Okay. And that filters for everything that meets these two criteria. All right. Now, if we want to confirm that, you can select any of your value cells in the pivot table, right click, and then go to show details. I don't know if you've done this previously or not, but this then expands in a new sheet the data that's contained in that cell. And we can see sales amount right here. We can see that all three values, of course, are within our criteria. We could do this for any of the cells. Where's one this big? So here's one that's 60. We can do the same thing. Show details, expand the columns so we can see our data. Sale amount, we can sort it ascending if we want. So we can see our highest value is 149,900. So just under the ceiling, and we can go to the very bottom and we can see our lowest sale value is 42,000, right? So this confirms that our filters are working